And all around us has been this explosion of new voices and ideas and culture and means of communicating, from blogs to social networks to Twitter to communities of all sorts, to the Arab Spring, if you will. All these things were enabled because regular people got a voice that once only mainstream media could have. So that's the power of democratization. But that happened in bits. This happened in the digital world. It's on screens. What about the world that we live in? Well, those two necessary factors have just kicked in. To the left is a 3D printer. If you haven't heard of a 3D printer, you will soon. A 3D printer is as exciting as that first laser printer was, but much more powerful. What it does is it takes images on a screen, just like a regular printer. In this case, the images are CAD diagrams. They're geometries of an object. And it just creates a physical object. In this case, this is a MakerBot. It costs about $1,000. It extrudes it out of plastic. But there's others that can do titanium, stainless steel, glass, almost anything. It's kind of magical. Anything you can imagine, you can produce. It is like in Star Trek, the replicator. Captain Kirk says, Earl Grey, tea, hot. And, poof, there it is. Well, this is close to that. Right now, it's plastic, but you can see the way this is going. This is essentially the dot matrix printer era, and we are just a few years from the laser printer era and beyond. We now have the capacity to make anything we want on our desktops. Desktop manufacturing. That should be as mind-blowing as desktop publishing was 20 years ago. But that's not enough. That produces one. That's great for prototyping, it's great for exploring, it's great for experimenting, it's great for fun, for personal use, but it doesn't make you a factory. What it makes you is an inventor, but it doesn't make you an entrepreneur. What about the power of distribution, the ability to make many, not the few? And to that, I have a picture here from a website called Alibaba, but there's many others. Basically, over the past 5 years, the world's supply chains, the world's factories have opened up to the individual. Today, you can upload your file to this site, Alibaba, and factories will compete for your business. You can then take the bid. They take credit cards, they take PayPal, and you can get robots in China to work for you. Literally, the same file format that worked on your desktop will drive the biggest factories in the world. This is just like the origins of desktop publishing. Remember PostScript? PostScript was a language that your printer could use, and the biggest printing plants used it. They spoke the same language. We're now seeing the same thing in manufacturing. The designs that you create on your laptop, you can print locally on your local 3D printer, or you can upload to any manufacturing site, and you can get into the production business. You can type in 1 million for the number of units you want, and there you are. You just rented the means of production. It's not about ownership of the means of production anymore, it's rentership of the means of production. The world's manufacturing industrial base is now open to everybody with an internet connection and a credit card. And the question is, what are we going to make today? This is the new factory. This here is TechShop. TechShop is it's a shared making space. Think of it like a gym. So when you go to a gym, when you become a member of a gym, you basically have access to equipment that's more expensive than you could afford, or maybe bigger than you would want in your home, and it's shared access. You share use of this equipment. There's coaches there who can help you use it, etc. Now apply the same model to making stuff. Here at TechShop, and this one's now in the San Francisco Bay Area. There's many of them around America. What these are the seeds of a new manufacturing model. These are shared spaces where you have the 3D printers and the CNC machines and the laser cutters and the embroidery and the stitching and the quilting and every possible form of making you can imagine is here and shared and available to you with coaches to help you use it. And what you see here are the inventors who are becoming entrepreneurs. The guy in the front right here is working on a wireless module for the smart grid, the electrical grid. The guy behind him is creating vapor deposition chambers for synthetic diamonds. Way in the back, there's a lunar lander, because why not? And these are the prototypes. But what's interesting is that all they have to do is click a button, and they upload them to these outsourced manufacturing, these factories that are now accepting orders from individuals, and now they're not just inventors, but entrepreneurs as well. That this kind of web-like collaboration space can actually drive factories that are making products in the millions. And this has become the new seeds of entrepreneurship in the Bay Area, in San Francisco, and throughout the United States, and now the world. These are all the maker spaces, all the hacker spaces throughout the world. Right now, every region is starting to realize that we have an opportunity for a new kind of entrepreneurship involving physical stuff. And so they're creating these shared spaces where a small number of these desktop fabrication tools, 3D printers and beyond, are available to anybody. And what we're seeing is this explosion of new ideas. People are coming out of the woodwork with concepts, with physical concepts they never would have been able to build before. It's a new breed of entrepreneur, a new breed of entrepreneurialism. And what's great about it is that they're doing in public, online, together. It's co-creation, it's collaboration, because of the web generation finally liberated to make physical stuff. So fundamentally, for the first time in history, making is manufacturing. It's not just tinkering in your workshop. It's not just a hobby. The same process of designing an object, putting it on screen using commonly available CAD software, and making a prototype on a cheap desktop device is exactly the same as starting manufacturing. We now have the capacity to make one or make a million. Any one of us can get into business exactly like the web. What was so liberating about the web? Low barriers to entry. Anybody with a laptop, an internet connection, could become an entrepreneur. The same thing now is applying to physical stuff. One of the financial drivers of this, if you will, the kind of venture capitalists of the new maker market, are a number of crowdfunding sites, of which my favorite is Kickstarter. This is a screenshot of Kickstarter from this afternoon. Kickstarter is an amazing thing. It solves three big problems in the funding of the new manufacturing economy. When you think about why companies and entrepreneurs take money from venture capitalists or banks or beyond, it's really for a simple reason. It's that they need to move money forward in time, which is to say they need money now while they're inventing a product and tooling up and ordering components and creating inventory. And then later, once those products are done and they sell them, they'll get that money back, hopefully, and ideally more. So it's just simply moving money from later to earlier. What Kickstarter does is it allows you to post an idea, a prototype, your vision of what this product can be, and then people can back it. They can say, I would like that product to exist, and they do so by essentially pre-ordering it. So this right here is the Pebble watch. As you can see, it's a 30-day run, so a little less than a month ago. A small team, 3 or 4 guys in Palo Alto, California, just posted this online. This is their vision of what a watch can be. This is the Internet of Things, right? It's an e-ink device with Bluetooth, a number of sensors on board, and this fundamentally it is your glanceable interface on your phone. It is a monitor of your daily life. It is a platform for apps, etc. Right now, I am covered in devices monitoring my activity. This is a Nike Fuel Band. This is a Polar watch around my neck. I've got a Philips Direct Life thing. I'm obsessed with what's called the sort of quantified self. I'm really interested in measuring my life's choices, the actions, the amount of movement I do during the day, the amount of sleep I'm getting, all these kind of decisions we make every day that affect our quality of life. And yet, they're very hard to monitor. So what we want is fundamentally, we want our devices to be connected to the internet, and they want them to be connected to our life. A watch is a great way to do it. So on the same day that this team announced this watch, Sony announced their new watch. About the same price, $150. The biggest electronics company in the world announces a smartwatch. Probably none of you have heard of it. Landed with a thud. And a bunch of kids in Palo Alto posted their idea of a watch. Not even the real thing, just a prototype, an idea of a watch on Kickstarter. By the time this evening is out, they're going to pass $10 million. $10 million of pre-orders. No venture capital, no private equity, no bank loan. All they did is they put up a concept, an idea, and people rallied around it. So that's the first thing it does. It moves money forward in time. It moves money to when you need it. The second thing it does is it creates a community. Everybody who backs this watch now wants this watch to exist. They want it to come into being. They not only have become invested in it, but their ideas are contributing to it. So when this watch was first announced, it wasn't waterproof. Based on the feedback of the community over the last 20 days, they've figured out a way to make it waterproof. When it was first announced, it used Bluetooth 2, now it's using Bluetooth 4. And so they're listening to the community and they're adapting the design in real time. This makes the community, those 64,000 and counting members, incredibly invested in the product. They want it to succeed. So that community then becomes the marketers. Each one of them not only gave this company $100, $120, whichever one they chose, but they have now become word-of-mouth evangelists. This is the distributed marketing army for this watch, which doesn't even exist yet. That's a powerful thing. Word of mouth, community, these are hard to achieve, and yet by simply posting a vision on a platform that's built around community, Pebble did it overnight. Sony may never get there because Sony's not built around the same open innovation model. The third thing, and perhaps the most important thing Kickstarter does, is market research. The way this works is that they've set a $100,000 goal. Now, as you can see, they blew through it. But let's say that they had not reached their $100,000 goal, 100,000 committed pre-orders by the time of launch. What does that tell you? It tells you the product would have failed. They've dodged a bullet. If they don't meet their target, that tells them that the product ultimately would not have met marketplace needs. That kind of information, that kind of market insight is invaluable. And not only does this platform fund the project, but it avoids the mistake. It de-risks the project by gauging consumer sentiment before the investment is already made. It's absolute genius. And this is part of the open innovation model as well.